Hi, this is Bruce Kulick, and very soon I will have an in-depth interview with Krazy Knights from Australia. Yes! So keep your eyes on the website for when it will be aired. I'm very excited to share my life with you all. Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of Krazy Knights. I'm one of your Krazy Knights co-hosts as always. My name is Jamie McNichol, and joining me drinking on his other supported alcoholic beverage, Jack Daniels, is my co-host David Fowler. How you going, David?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Jamie.
And David, I just want to go straight into it. I don't think this episode should need a introduction. Um,
Yes.
One of those long introductions that we have been given other people, but
Uh,
this one is the legendary ex-former
uh,
Kiss lead guitar player Bruce Kulick.
they're awesome guy to talk to, as you'll hear in the interview.
Yep,
So
he just recently
enjoy
got
it.
just recently came back from Iceland, about a week or a half ago, or a couple of weeks ago, I should say. Um,
Yeah.
Guys, go and check them out. They do have a Kiss Army page there, and they do have a Kiss Army fan base in Iceland, up in the chilly mountains of Iceland. So go and check them out. But yeah, we have got Bruce Kulick, and what we're going to do now, we're going to go back to the audio file because we were calling um, Bruce on Skype using audio only due to David and he still has got the summer flu, so we had to give him a lot of Doctor Love during the episode, and yeah, and he's still coughing now. So yeah,
Yeah, well, nearly there. Nearly
nearly.
getting over it.
Yeah. But no, as we go through this, you'll hear great stories and good good answers and questions, and especially
Yeah,
what.
he was very good. Very good interview. He was very forthcoming with his answers.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and it was very honest
And
as
also,
well.
I want to say this: we got a surprise about halfway through the interview. You just stick around for that. There was a surprise phone call that Bruce got while we were
Oh yeah, yeah,
interviewing doing the interview. So stick around for that. It was a good surprise for us as well, and you'll hear that and all that. It's uncut and it is unedited. If you do hear a little bit of crackling, there was a bit of a crackle during the Skype. Wasn't our microphones or David's reception or anything. It was just Skype being complete idiotic toss bag. But no, but if you do hear that, we apologise that. If you don't hear it, well, we're apologising for nothing. But anyway, nothing me bashing my gums up, man. Let's go straight into it. Here it is, Bruce Kulick joining us on the round table at Krazy Knights. Hey, welcome to another episode of Krazy Knights, and I'm one of your Krazy Knights co-hosts, Jamie McNichol, and joining me from the other side of this border is David Fowler. How you going, David?
good. Thanks, Jamie.
And David, I know you got a bit of a summer flu. We're going to
Yeah.
give you a bit of Dr. Love treatment today. But David, we're going to jump straight into it. No need for an introduction. We are going to be so overwhelmed by having this awesome guest who used to play in Kiss for 13 years and been a lead guitarist and also joined other musical ventures after the reunion tour for Kiss.
Grand Funk Railroad being one of them.
Yeah, Grand Funk and Union, and also he's worked with other avenues as well, like Lordy. He's worked with Lordy. He's done some other outside projects last year, and just recently he's been married to his new lovely wife Lisa, and we're talking to Bruce Kulick from all the way from LA. Good morning, or I should say good evening, Bruce, and thank you for joining for Krazy Nights.
Here it's early afternoon, but it's all good. It's all good. The miracles of our internet and the world, right? That I could reach out, we can have a conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bruce, we just want to say on behalf of Krazy Nights, congratulations for your new wedding, marriage with Lisa. And we've seen some photos and some videos of Lisa singing as well. And I'll just say on behalf of David and I and everyone here at Krazy Knights, congratulations and many happy years together.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, I was very, very happy that the wedding came off very, very, it was just a wonderful celebration of love, which is what Lisa wanted it to be. We did it our own way, although there were certain traditional things about it. But putting together the video, which was just taking the short story of the wedding, we have over 2,000 photos from our photographers, you know, and
Awesome.
to get the best ones that told the story of the night was not easy, but we pulled it together. Of course, the song that's in the background, I don't think everybody Lisa singing and me playing guitar unless you made it to the credits or you read the little introduction that I put up when I posted it, you know. But it really is a beautiful song and a beautiful performance, and the wedding photos, I couldn't be more proud of the whole thing, and it was just one of those days I'll never forget. And I'm grateful that a couple of my friends recently have been uploading or letting me transfer off their phones some of the video, because we didn't hire a videographer, you know, but I have lots of great footage of you know, things that were happening there. So it was quite a night, you know, it really was. And thanks again.
And looking at the photo slide that you put together for that music video for Lisa, looks like there was a little mini reunion of the Revenge era with you and Eric and Paul and Jean.
Yes, I mean, it really meant a lot for me for them to be there, you know. But, you know, I was invited to, you know, Jean's wedding, and Paul shortly after that had a big 60th anniversary party, I mean, for his birthday a couple years back. And, you know, when I sent out the invitation, it was very, I was very pleased that they were, you know, the timing that January 4th represented. They weren't traveling. And they, you know, the reaction was like, I wouldn't miss it for anything. And there they were. And Eric, of course, I stay very tight with. He lives very near me here in L.A. And there we were. I mean, you know, that was really, it meant a lot to me. You know, it really did. You know, all the guys in Grand Funk don't live in Los Angeles, you know, and even though I did have some people fly in to the event, you know, I see those guys, you know, every month, you know. So, but to have Kiss there, you know, and for us to have the opportunity to celebrate my day with Lisa was really, really wonderful. Very, very happy.
So, David, how you going now? I'm just hearing a bit of a scratching, like you're doing a scratching.
No, I'm not scratching. I'm going all right.
That's okay, David. But David, I'm just going to pass it over to you to jump onto some questions for Bruce. And you got any to start off with?
I believe with this vintage guitars, you were just saying before that it's a connection to the guitar you used to use on the Revenge tour, the little Les Paul Jr. that had the little sunburst one that you used to use.
Tense relics of vintage-looking Gibson guitars, in interesting colors, sometimes reminiscent, sometimes not, of a real Gibson. But obviously, he had something that looked like a Les Paul Jr. there. And then Wes's idea was to tell me, why don't you have him do a copy of your, you know, Kiss Revenge era, which I used on Carnival of Souls and on tour for Alive 3, which was the Revenge tour of your Les Paul. And I thought it was a great idea. So I sent them some very detailed photos. And in October of last year, he showed me the starting body of the prototype. And of course, I was really excited. And I said, finish it. Let's present it at NAMM. Let's do this limited run. So between the three of us, Wes, who owns the website, Billy, who owns the company, and myself, decided we're just going to do a limited run, presuming the prototype will make it to my house before NAMM, which it did, a week before. And I did a photo shoot with it. Now, keep in mind, the prototype is an exact copy, as close as can be, to the real one. The production model is going to be a legal version of it. So there are going to be some changes to it so it doesn't affect, you know, the issues that a company like Gibson would have with a guitar maker. You know, just like the same way that ESP makes a really incredible guitar called the Eclipse that I use quite often. That looks like a Les Paul, but it's not a Les Paul. Okay, it will be. But I'm really impressed that nearly half of them are sold already, and no one's really held an actual production model. But I got to tell you, the prototype came out amazing, and it shows in the video from the short time I spent with Premier Guitar at the NAMM show. It really did sound amazing. It plays great. I had a lot of friends check it out. I mean, look, it's not like a difficult thing to have a good piece of mahogany, a comfortable mahogany neck with the right kind of frets, and a great Seymour Duncan pickup in the guitar, and you're going to have a good tone machine. You know what I mean? This isn't like rocket scientists kind of, it's not that hard to make a great guitar if you put the right ingredients in it, and Billy knows how to do that. And in fact, now he actually has the real guitar so that these production models will be even closer. Okay. And, I do want everybody to know though, because like I just came back from ESP Guitars this morning, and I had my meeting with them about some things going on this year and some of their new models and
well, back in 2010, Bruce, I also was promoting your BK3 solo album on the Kiss Destroyed Adelaide radio station, but it was basically you over here similar for the like what you do over in America called NAMMs. With you coming over here in 2010, is there been other avenues of coming back to another AMS? I know, David, you've been saying that the AMS festival not going to happen due to what?
That Australian International Music Festival, I think the only one that they've had is the one that Bruce and Robin Ford were at. I don't remember it continuing after the 2010 the AIMS Festival, so I don't know what happened there. But
the NAMM show in America and the one in Frankfurt that's going on very soon. Those are biggest shows, and they're international. Now, I had a great time. First of all, I got friends there. I love Melbourne. I love Australia. I had a great time. I think the people they chose to appear there were really, really a great varied. There was a great variety of music talent. That was invited. I know that one of the days was up against one of your biggest football matches, which killed that day,
That's the day we were there.
Yeah, my football team won the grand final that day too, so it's best of both worlds.
Yeah, and it was a very rare though, kind of match or something. But I could tell you now, those shows are very expensive for a promoter or company to put on, or however they did it. And I could tell then, I was like, I don't know if this is going to happen again. And I felt bad about it because they really did it first class and they took care of me like a king, and I feel really bad. But, I've been aware, even though your economy isn't horrible in any way, because I have a good friend that was even at my wedding, this guy Paul Drennan, who lives in Australia.
Actually, I'll be catching up with him tonight, actually.
Good. Please send him my best, of course. But, I remember I knew all the music stores in your country, and I've done other things there. I did that. If anybody missed the clinics I did for Alan's music, you really missed something terrific.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, Alan's doesn't exist anymore, or it merges with Billy Hyde's, and you get what I'm saying. I mean, there's been a lot of downsizing and downscaling of certain music things over there. I mean, people are always going to go out and listen to music, and I'm hoping, of course, to come over there again, maybe even this year. But quite honestly, when those things happen, everybody kind of suffers, and it's a drag, between the fact that I really loved all those kind of trips I've made. But I'm hoping I can do something again there, and even if it isn't something with a music store or like a NAMM show, it would be even if it's just gigs. I'm going to try to get back to Australia as soon as I can.
Well, Bruce, I want to just to go with those drum clinics. The the very first one I went to was back in '96 when you and Eric Singer came down for the Unholy Drum and Guitar Clinic around Australia. That was the starting point of all these clinics for me when back in '96, what it was. And I met you and met Eric Singer over in Perth when I was living in Perth at the time. And I actually bumped into you at one of those fancy, I think it was like a T-shirt store right next door to the venue in Perth at the Metropolis.
Okay.
And you said, you said, you going to the gig tonight? And I said, yeah, man, could I take a photo before we go? Yeah, no worries. We had a photo together inside I must have been about 18 at the time. I was like a kid at a candy store. Right. But I was actually going into this memorabilia shop right next door, and here you just walked in. But no, going back to the point, the Unholy Drum and Guitar Clinic back in '96, that's what started off for me. Can you just give a bit of a history lesson of some of the fans that might not even meant to that?
Well, that one I remember was put on. You got to remember, both Eric and I weren't going to be in KISS now, so it was like, what do we do? I remember he had a good relationship with a guy who ran these drum stores, but was connected well with, publications and the music store chain. So he kind of realized, well, just bringing over Eric, why don't we do it together? Then they can play together. They'll pick up a bass player, play a little. They'll both do clinics. They'll do master classes. It was very interesting. And I know Eric, I still have on occasion have run into that guy who put it together, but that was interesting and certainly a bit groundbreaking for us to do that. And I remember I had a great time. It was really cool. I mean, just because I wasn't going to be performing with KISS didn't mean that the KISS fans didn't want to, in some way, have an opportunity to see me. So that was another excuse to get down to Australia, Each trip has its angle, you know what I mean? You get an offer, you get an invitation, you try to figure out how you can make it work. So, everybody's happy. And every time I do it, I'm thrilled that I pull it off, you know what I mean? But that was the start of me coming over there without the band. And even though I can't do it very often because it is very far away, as you know, it's like a 13-hour flight, 14-hour flight. And you got to do the visas. It gets a little complicated. I always try not to, ignore the fact that I'm kind of due again for another trip. So I gotta work on it.
Yeah, well, you did say to me back in 2010 that Melbourne, Australia was like your second home because you were coming over so frequently back then. But now during Grand Funk and also some side projects, especially last year, you did a couple of side projects. One was, I can't remember the name of the album, but it was like a horror type of soundtrack.
Right.
Some type of, and then you've done another guitar part for another artist that was just brought out a video clip late last year, I suppose. I know it's there, I just don't know the name.
Kind of like that rap artist?
Yeah. I think they're called Moccasin Creek. I mean, look, I get approached for doing sessions, and if I think someone's got an interesting song or something where I'm going to shine on it, I agree to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And with Grand Funk, it's not that easy to just block a lot of time to go take a trip. And that's why I try to do some of the international travel on our quieter months, I got to admit, it's really quite a juggling act, you know what I mean, to make it all happen. But I do the best I can, you know what I mean, to schedule things. And unfortunately, like a trip to Australia does take a lot of advance prep, you know what I mean? Unlike I could be added on to a thing in Vegas, 2 weeks before. Like now I'm going to be doing the Judas Priest Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I just got invited yesterday to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's nobody that's going to pretty much, say like, hey, could you be in Australia March 1st? You know what I mean? They're not going to say that today. You know what I mean? No. It would have to take a lot of preparations. And I am kind of really careful with the Grand Funk schedule because we really only do about 35 to 40 shows a year, in the year. But they pay me really well. I love the guys. It's fun to play that stuff. And I don't want, I want to be able to be available for all their gigs. You know, I just do. You know, I mean, I feel I have a certain commitment with them and loyalty to them. So, like I said, I juggle it all and I do the best I can. The sessions never keep me from traveling because you got to remember I could do a session the day before I'm going to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Because nowadays, even though I'll do a session for a Swedish band and then I'll do something from the South, or I just did something for a guy in Sweden, and then I did this witch house project that's very cool. And some of them are from Sweden, some of them are from California, you know. But, you know, I use a local studio, and now with the internet, once again, I could send my files. I don't have to go travel there to do it. So you travel really so you can do that in-person performance, you know. And it always is exciting to be in front of a crowd. But someone asked me to do a session, I'm happy to do that.
But I just want to go on to this thing, and I'm going to touch very, very lightly on this. It's a negative thing, Bruce, but we're looking at it in a bigger picture because most Kiss fans like to keep their blinkers on and just keep everything in a box. With the divide among the Kiss fans, especially now that Kiss has been put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and also the makeup of Eric and Tommy wearing Ace and Peter's makeup, has it ever affected you over this period of time that you've been out of Kiss? And if so, or if not, how did you go about it? And what do you want to say amongst all this negativity that's been going on for all these years since you've been out of Kiss?
Hey, David, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay, mate.
I hear some like heavy blowing the nose or heavy breathing or something. Okay.
It sounds like Darth Vader.
Poor guy. Anyway, well, look, it's really fascinating to me, of course, how much controversy there always is in the Kiss world amongst the fans. Look, they really love the band, you know what I mean, and they all like to have an opinion. And nowadays with the internet, you know, the power of the typewriter in your computer or even your phone, you can post something and say what you love and what you don't like, you know. And you know, I do appreciate everybody having their opinion about it. So I'll give you some of mine. First of all, I don't see any fault really in Eric and Tommy being as the spaceman and the Catman kind of thing, because it was getting a little ridiculous to try to create new characters for them. I always get asked, what would you be? And I say the dog. Well, you have a cat, man. I'd be the dog, whatever. And that's really just a joke, you know, that I'm saying, because I did call my first solo record Audio Dog, and I was crazy. I had a dog that was really precious to me for 15 years named Joe, and a lot of my fans knew about Joe. But you know, there's that era of Kiss where they started off in makeup where it was those four characters, not just the guys, meaning, you know, Paul, Gene, Peter, and Ace. And I really think by the time the reunion tour and everything was back to that makeup mania, and then the merchandise and the machinery of hawking that kind of look and everything, and then really taking a completely retro look at the band where they completely ignored my era then, and it was all about the glory of the original band. So what do you think when Ace is going to cause a problem and they're going to replace him? They're not going to come up with a new character. They're going to throw that person in the Spaceman. And then when Peter thought, well, you know, I don't want to do this, or if you don't pay me, and I don't know how it went down, but I know out of nowhere, Eric gets a phone call. You know, we're going to Japan. You want to play drums? You're going to be in Peter's outfit. You know, he's a musician. He wants a job. He's a great drummer. You know what I mean? He goes like, yeah, I'll be there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there he is as you know, the cat. You know, I know the jokes about it, you know, fake Fraley and copycat and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Whatever. But as a business model, it makes sense. And I actually think Tommy and Eric do a really admirable job, and they do embody the thing. There is only one Ace, so you know Tommy's not going to walk around on stage and really look like Ace, and you know Eric's like built like a little German tank, so he doesn't look like the Italian Peter Criss, you know. But so what? He's playing his heart out. He sings the parts. He's a great drummer. Tommy plays the right riffs. So I don't have a problem with any of it. And the fans that don't like it, I get their point, but it doesn't mean anything to me, okay? And they're entitled to their opinion. It also doesn't mean anything to Gene or Paul, because guess what? They still are doing incredibly well with, Eric and Tommy in that version of Kiss, okay? Now, my era is very unique. I'm very glad to represent it, to wave the flag of it, if you know what I mean. We, of course, lost Eric Carr in 91, and Mark St. John passed away for his brief time. And then Vinnie Vincent, nobody wants to talk about, because the ones that do think he's amazing. And he's very talented, but as a business guy, he's done everything wrong, okay? Suing Kiss, and you know what I mean. He's picking the wrong battles, in my opinion, okay? He should be grateful for the time he was in the band, and he should have, if he would have played it right, he would have been in the band longer. You know what I mean? But that's Vinny's issue, not mine. Okay. So the way I look at the history of the band and everything, I'm just really proud of my era. Now we have the Hall of Fame thing coming up, which presents a lot of issues and problems, not only for the fans, but for the band. I just read something about an hour ago that somebody sent me where Paul gave an exclusive interview to Classic Rock with his opinions of the Hall of Fame. And I know exactly what he's saying there, and I agree with what he's saying. And how it all pans out in the end, who knows? But absolutely the band deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And no matter what, if it's only those four or everybody, the Kiss fans know that the band is bigger than the original four. There's always going to be a bunch of people that only want to know about the original four and don't want to kind of understand Gene and Paul carrying on with other people in makeup. There's always going to be that faction, and they're entitled to their opinion. But the point is, it's really not. They can't force a situation of guys that don't want to really work together or don't feel like they need to work together, if you get what I mean, to do it. And does it? Look, in '95 when the convention tour kind of started the catalyst of the Unplugged, which kind of pushed Peter and Ace in the limelight and then made the reunion tour happen, okay? The timing was right. Guess what? That ain't going to happen again, okay?
No.
The timing is not right now. It's time for everybody to celebrate the fact that Kiss will be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And no matter how it goes down, and I think everybody's aware I've been invited to attend, and I'm very grateful and excited to be there. And even if I'm never shown on camera, I'm there, and I'm there for the band, 100%, and it always shines on me no matter what about Kiss, even though I haven't been in the band all these years, them carrying forward and being so successful. And even though, I haven't performed with them since 95 or recorded with them since early 96. I'm still a part of the family, so to me, it's all good, So really, there's always going to be controversy about this band and many bands, what I mean? Let's face it. Lots of bands have these, arguments and, the fans are always going to debate things, but I just love the fact that I was part of a group that still is going forward, still has a rich history, is still not forgotten in my years, in my era, even though it may not get the brightest, spotlight. People know it, and I'm for me to meet young fans that weren't even born yet when I was in the band, and they're shaking when I take a picture with them, and they're so excited, and they know everything I've done with Kiss, and they follow me on Facebook and Twitter and my website. I mean, that's an unbelievable reality for me to enjoy,
Yeah.
So, and I see it very much like the Beatles are handed down, the legacy of the Beatles, that there's only two of them alive. And of course they started all this insanity of being, playing rock and roll music and letting your hair grow, and the way they kind of like they were such an important force for everything to come afterwards, from The Who and Led Zeppelin and the Stones and then Kiss and all the other bands, you know.
Yeah.
Kiss keeps turning on new generations, and they keep discovering everything about Kiss. So it's just really a testament to what the four original guys created and the way I look at it and what Gene and Paul have been able to protect and move forward. You know what I mean? Even though that's always in their image or that's always to their dictation. So that's why it doesn't really matter, you know, completely what the fans want. Gene and Paul are going to do what they want to do.
Exactly. David, I was better put the spotlight over to you. I know you've been breathing like Darth Vader now, so wrecking your vocal cords. So I put you over to Bruce.
Just back on your solo career. You were with Frontiers for the next album. Is there any chance that we'll maybe start recording a new solo album soon, or you got enough material for another solo album yet, or?
Well, I've been actually writing some stuff. Last year I was writing music. Frontiers was able to release my album internationally, the BK3, because I actually own that record, and then I licensed it both to Frontiers in outside of North America, and then a company called Rocket Science in North America, who unfortunately went out of business. That's the same label that did Anomaly for Ace. And so I own the rights for BK3 for North America, and of course Frontiers can distribute that one the rest of the world. But I am looking at new material. You know, nowadays I could actually probably do one of those pre-selling it fundraiser type, Kickstarter type things with my album when I want. And I'm actually thinking and talking about it now, and I'm not sure the angle of the record yet, although it may be similar to BK3, in which case I seek out a lot of really cool guests to help create the album with me, you know, because I certainly see the music that I could do with my wife as a different thing. I'd like to showcase her as this great singer and me play more, you know, jazz guitar kind of the way I hear it. And then, you know, there's always, you know, other projects that I get invited to be involved in that I always look at, but there's nothing really firm happening with. But yeah, this year I'm thinking about actually finally making that happen, you know. So I'll keep everybody posted for sure. I do want to get, you know, I know it's different iTunes across the world, but it's real important for me to get my solo records up in at least North America, up on iTunes, because that isn't there, and that will help it appear on Spotify and some of the other streaming services, because I do want people to hear those albums, you know, even though I paid for them, I own them. But I have a whole plan for this year, and I got to do it step by step. I mean, it was amazing. I got through a very, very busy 2013, both with traveling and gigging and doing sessions and prepping for things. There was almost a project that I was involved in, but I realized it wasn't going to fit my schedule for 2014. So that's going to free up a lot of different things for me this year. And then, of course, wedding, honeymoon, NAMM, Grand Funk gig, Iceland, which was a great trip. There's a Kiss Army there too, guys. You know what I mean? It's amazing how Kiss is everywhere, you know. I know that this 2014 is the 40th anniversary in a way for that thing that I did with some guys, the first band I ever had that we wound up calling the CD when I put it out KKB.
KKB. You know? Yep.
Yeah. And what was amazing was Mike, the bass player, who wrote the majority of the material, he actually found, finally, it took him 4 years, but he found the original tapes.
Oh, nice.
So I now have them transferred for Pro Tools. Now, I don't want to just put it out the way it was again, but my idea is, what if I overdub on that, double guitars, add some things, do a new track, and then we could do a limited, you know, new version commemorating that, you know, time capsule of my career, you know. In fact, Mike was here in December. He lives in New York, where I used to live, and he was out here in L.A., and he came by, And that was great. You know, it was great to see him and show him my home. I've never gotten that chance since I've lived out in L.A. since '86. You know, so you know, stuff like that I want to you know, accomplish this year. I also want to add some bonus material to the iTunes release. You know, which I'll be able to share with everybody. So there's lots of things like on the horizon, you know, David, but I'm not real clear in what order everything's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, you got you got. It's been looking at your tour that page there. You got the 12 dates with Grand Funk so far this year.
Well, you know what happens with Grand Funk is kind of funny is that the dates just kind of come in by the ones all year. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you'll look back in May and you'll probably see a much busier summer and. You know, if you looked at the website in May, you know, so they just come in one at a time, you know, and it will probably add up like it always has consistently for all the years I've been with them, between 35 and 40 gigs, you know what I mean? But we don't do it like the way, like somebody else announces, okay, Styx, we're going out on a tour. It's going to be Styx and REO, and here are the 40 dates. You know what I mean? Come see us. You know what I mean? So we just do it a little differently, but you know what? It works for us, you know what I mean? And I can't complain with the fact that, you know, it's a great band to be involved in, and I love the music that we play, and I can't believe this will be my, you know, 14th year or something. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy, yeah.
Now, Bruce, is it true that you and your brother Bob going to be collaborating on some stuff? I'm hearing a rumor going around.
There's lots of issues with my schedule last year. Certainly issues for him last year too. Hang on one second. I know that's my mother calling. You'll love this. Okay. Hello. Yes, Ma. Hi. Can I call you back though, like in a half hour? I'm just finishing up an interview, actually. Okay. All right. All right. Say hi to Australia, Ma.
There you go.
All right. She says hi. Okay. All right, Ma. I'll say that. All right. Bye. God bless us. She's 89.
Oh, nice.
God bless you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm very practical. I don't like to announce things or make a plan unless I really know how I can implement it. You know what I mean? Because you got to go from A to B to D to, you know, until you can get to, I skipped C there. Sorry. To C to D before you can get to Z, you know, which is the final product. And there's a lot of steps, and I don't like to, you know, really, you know, start talking about the early steps until I see the end game, you know. But
yeah.
The stuff that we fooled around with material-wise was very interesting, and I'm real excited that Bob's been, even though he still records bands and has a studio, I know he's been stepping out a little more and appearing at events and playing with people, and I have been encouraging him to do that because he's an excellent guitarist, of course, and he's been more behind the scenes, you know, producing and having the studio, and I've been trying to get him to get out there. You know what I mean? Some more. So who knows? You know, even this year could where we do have something to offer to the fans. You know, but it's got to be right. I don't like to just like throw things together. I always like it to be great.
Exactly. I just want to ask a quick question here. It just came to me. With the way the music world is at the moment, and you've got the icons, I should say, bands like Motley Crue that just announced a farewell tour just early this month, and Kiss, who's on their 40th anniversary, and the Rolling Stones will be here in Australia very shortly for their 50th anniversary. The path I'm going down here, Bruce, is when these bands decide to go away from the spotlight and just hang up the boots or the microphone, do you see any other bands following on behind them to be that next icon, so to speak, or the next band to focus on? Do you see anything coming through that going to take the world by storm?
You know, it's a great question. I'm not sure I have the answer. I really don't know. All I know is I'm very, very happy to have been part of a band like Kiss, and it blows me away to watch McCartney still going strong in his 70s, you know, you see the Stones doing what they're doing. You know, and to see that, look, there's been many big bands through the 80s and the 90s and through the 2000s that make a big noise and then they poof go away. It's just interesting to me that the bands that I kind of really admired and grew up with are still really the titans of the industry, from The Who to AC/DC to the Stones. You know, I saw Bad Company last year. Okay, you know, come on. I mean, you know, what a great band. You know what I mean? And yeah, they didn't have, you know, they had a different bass player, and my friend Howard Leese was additional guitar to Mick Ralph's. But Paul Rogers, he's a monster as a singer. Paul Stanley's favorite vocalist. Okay, so you know, I mean, classic rock is what I'm trying to say. Don't you think, even if it wasn't with, you know, Paul Kossoff is dead, if Free did it would be a huge reaction. I know Joe Bonamassa, who I know through these guitar dinners that I have here in L.A. with a bunch of, you know, musicians and industry people get together every couple of months, and Joe would love to be the Joe, you know, be the Paul Kossoff for that. You know what I mean? That would be huge too. You know, so you get what I'm saying. I mean, but it just seems that like classic rock just seems to still be strong. And is there going to be a huge, you know, anniversary of Nirvana? You know, they can't be. You know, even though they were very important. Guns N' Roses, they're going to fight forever, but they would certainly, that would be huge if Axl and Slash did something together. But, you know, when you think about it, past that even, who was there that you can think about a 30th anniversary or 40th anniversary? Pearl Jam's still doing it. You know, they're still out there. You know?
Then the Foo Fighters.
You know, Foo Fighters, he's still going strong. And I mean, you know, but bands like Oasis that were huge at one point, you think there's going to be a huge... No. Aerosmith, they're still going strong. So they can have, you know, anniversary after anniversary. Cheap Trick can keep going and, you know, do their early albums. You know, again, it's all going back to this magical classic rock, you know?
Yeah. And Bruce, how do you look at the music world at the moment due to when bands, including yourself with the solo album BK3, to push it out markedly globally? I know here in Australia, with some of the bands, we're trying to find it hard to get a push over in America, and some of the bands over in America will find the same back trying to push it out. Do you think the internet has killed the music industry for the legal download, or it's just the business has not maintained the strongness as it was back in the 80s?
Well, people love music. The internet has obviously taken its toll on... Some people just think music's for free. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to buy BK3. You can probably pull up the songs on YouTube, and the song will play, and there'll be some photo collage of me or something, you know? You know, I think that's kind of lame because you don't own it. You can't take it with you. But people do. Now, I'm grateful that KISS fans do like to hold the product. They really do like to own it. They want to look at a package and things like that. But that part of the internet has really hurt the record industry. Now streaming radio, which unfortunately doesn't pay the musicians and the songwriters the right amount of money, but that's a fun way to listen to. Let's say I like Jimi Hendrix, so I put in Jimi Hendrix in Pandora or Spotify or whatever, and I can listen to a station that's going to play Hendrix and other Hendrix-like kind of music. That's fun. That's a good thing about the internet. But unfortunately, all those artists aren't getting paid very well, you know. The other thing, though, that is good, even though we know as a business-wise it's really bad when people are just listening to music for free and never buy it, is, but the fans, the internet brings the fans closer. So a band with a good website can now hype what they're up to. I'm able to communicate with, you know, between my Twitter and my Facebook now, I'm like at over, you know, like probably 130,000 people now. You know, I can potentially reach with a click of a button on my phone or my computer, and that's pretty remarkable. You know, KISS Online has over 11 million people on their Facebook. Stuff like that is, incredible. You know what I mean? The fact that you can reach that many people that way, and then and they can be aware of what's going on. So I like that part of it. And people are always going to want to see live music, which is why I have flown 1 million miles on Delta Airlines, 1 million miles on American Airlines. You get what I'm saying? I travel a lot. Right?
Yeah.
But the truth is, I would wish, and I am very supportive, when there's something I like, I hear, I don't have to have the physical product, but I'm going to go to iTunes and download it and pay for it, which means the artist got paid. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to, just listen to the YouTube videos of it. I do support music and owning it, and I think others should follow, because it costs a lot of money to record, and it there's a creative thing that somebody should be compensated for. You know what I mean? So that part is the only downfall I find of the internet.
Yep. Well, David, as you know, this is the 40th anniversary, and I think the 40th anniversary starts off tonight over in your neck of the woods today, David.
Yeah, that's at the Pony Bar, Cherry Bar, sorry. They're going to do. There's a band playing, including Paul Drennan, that is in Bruce's solo band, and I believe your drummer Rusty. They're going to do the whole first album in its entirety, from start to finish. Plus, there'll be other bands as well, and they'll be playing Kiss music all night. So it'd be good for everybody to get down there to the Cherry Bar in Melbourne. So and go and say hi to Paul as well.
Those guys are really good. Paul is a big freak, and all the guys that he works with, they're dear friends of mine. And if you like Kiss, you should go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this thing tonight, David. Sorry I can't be there.
That's
right. Got family commitments to do. But without a heartbeat, it was another day I'll be there. And why not? But you, David, before I ask Bruce one more question, you gave me a great thing of positive. Megadeth was pulled off they cancelled their Soundwave, but Ice Earth, who's done other recording for Kiss like Crazy Creatures of the Night, God of Thunder, and Detroit Rock City. I have purchased my meet and greet, so I'll be coming to your neck of the woods.
I don't think Ice Earth have done Detroit. They did Creatures and God of Thunder.
There was a live recording they did Detroit.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough.
So it was a live recording. But no, these bands are coming to Australia, and I'll be marching on to Melbourne, the capital city, rock city of Australia, Melbourne. So yeah, but unfortunately, Megadeth can't be here. We all know what the reason behind that was. But.
Yeah, well, right.
But Bruce, just one question I've got to ask, and I'll pass it on to David, and then we'll wrap it up. With the new vinyls that are coming out, the 10 vinyl through Universal, are you surprised it's taken this long for Psycho Circus to be released on vinyl for the very first time?
All right, so fill me in on what's happening. I didn't know. So they're putting out all records up until when? What up until what?
It's just select albums. There's 10 albums. I think Universal are putting them out. I know out of your era, this Revenge is there.
Revenge, Psycho Circus, Animal Asylum, Animalize, Lick It Up.
And then there's about 2 or 3 of the, I think, like the first 2 Kiss albums.
Right.
They're being released on vinyl again. The new, what was it, the 180 gram vinyl that's been coming out the last couple of years. So,
well, here's the question, David. Here's a question. We got Bruce here.
Yeah.
Should have Alive 3 been released on a double vinyl?
Well, look, anything with me, I'm real excited to see released, and I know that when Kiss decided to do the monster record, and instead of going with Walmart, which is what they did in America for the Sonic Boom, I know part of their deal was reconnecting again with the label, with Universal, Polygram, whatever you want to call it, And I know part of that was exciting on both parts because you see Universal Polygram owned, a chunk of the KISS catalog. So even though KISS wasn't signed to anybody, if they wanted to do things coordinated, it's best to get in bed with the people who have your product line. You know what I mean? And what it would do is kind of force them to be able to both be on the same page. With the worst thing is when a label puts out stuff and you have nothing to do with the label. Here, all right, they fund you for a new record. Let's put out vinyl of all these records, and it's just more money for more, interesting new ways to for the fans to enjoy the product. You know what I mean? So everybody wins. So I don't really have an opinion about it, but I know on a business sense, it's very wise for them to be together. And of course, I welcome, because I think that they've always ignored product-wise quite a bit of my era. I'd love even Carnival of Souls to be like remixed and remastered and put on vinyl. You know what I mean? Who knows? I mean, that album's a real bastard of the catalog. But, maybe in time it will. But Revenge, of course, and any of the stuff they're putting out on vinyl now, that's wonderful. I think it's great.
And also, I've got one. This one just come. It's going to be very, very good question, Bruce. A lot of bands like Nightwish and Ice Earth and so forth, when an album comes up, there'll be a deluxe fan pack, whether you can buy not only the CD, but you get a gift pack like a T-shirt, right. so forth. Why hasn't KISS done that over 40 years?
It's not a good question from me. This guy Tobias Sammet, who has that band Avantasia, right? And he was on BK3. Yeah. And his other band's called Ed Guy. Yeah. Man, I don't know if he does a fan pack, but he'll do like this, he'll do the vinyl, he'll do the, the regular CD, then it's the bonus CD, then it's like the book CD, Look, KISS got interesting with the box set, with the guitar case versions, and things like that. Why don't they? They should. I agree. I think the fans would love it, but I can't give you a reason why they haven't really done that, so. All right, guys, I only have time for one more question, so make it a good one.
Cool.
Yeah, come on, David. You.
Okay.
David's breathing. Go up.
So we do you think when do you think we might see again in Australia again this year? You were saying.
Well, I know that when Paul was here, Paul Drennan, who we mentioned earlier, he was. We didn't have a lot of time at the wedding, obviously, to talk about what to do, but I know he met my producer friend Jeremy, who was there, who produced BK3, and they were chatting a lot because they were Facebook friends and all that. But we were all trying to. I remember they were having a big conversation as to like what would be a cool way to bring me over this time. So the dialogue has started. I can't tell you there's anything firm, but at least there's been some dialogue. So I'm hoping. You got to remember, the last few times I came, it was easier to do because real stores with a real, there was something there to sponsor me with, you know what I mean? To come over, Visa and all, approached me, you know what I mean? So it made it really easy for Paul and I to put it together. All right, we'll do some gigs. I'll do the store appearances, and everybody's happy. And that's exactly how it went down. It all worked out great. But right now, with the, I know earlier in our conversation we talked about how the stores are really struggling, or they're all downsized so much. I can't rely on the stores, so that's why Paul and I have to come up with a good angle and figure it out so that we can make it work for the Visa and figure out who would be in the band, how we do this. And believe me, you guys will be one of the first to know. Okay, if we can get it together.
Sweet. No worries, and we would love to see you come back down here. I mean, there are some rumours that came out of the KISS cruise, and one of our friends from Melbourne named JT Corbett said that you and Bob were coming down to Australia, but nothing's been confirmed. It's only a rumour, and I'm only going to keep it as a rumour. If it happens...
It's a rumour, because I that's one I hadn't heard before, okay?
But he did say that to me, so that's why I never asked you. But it's a rumor, and we're gonna pinch it with a grain of salt. And like you said, if we do know, it'll come to from you to us.
Absolutely.
But Bruce, the door's always open to come back on our show and also back down in Australia. And is there any last things you'd like to ask to the fans down under?
Well, I just want to let everybody know part of why I even ran the wedding video that I was so excited about, technically on a Thursday in America, meaning the 13th of February, not the 14th, is because I knew it was the 14th already in Australia. And I don't forget about my fans over there, and I didn't want them to have it a day late. And I wanted them to have Valentine's Day, so I actually introduced it a day early just for my friends down under, okay? So I really, it's a great country. You guys are such great KISS supporters and have always supported my, my post-KISS years. So I'm very grateful for, my visits there, and I'm hoping, of course, to do it again, okay? So thanks again.
And just before you go,
website,
Bruce,
Facebook, so.
Yeah, just before you go, Bruce, Dave and I will have a flat white coffee.
There you go. I love the flat whites. Absolutely. Love it.
All right, Bruce. Thanks for joining us. I know you got to run, and thanks for joining us. Thanks, mate.
All right.
See you, Bruce.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye now.
Bro.
Cheers.
Bye. Well, there you go, David. That was Bruce Kulick, and the unexpected surprise guest during that interview as well.
It was good to hear from Mrs. Kulick, Bruce's mother,
and Bob's mother.
And Bob's mother as well.
Yeah.
Rang while we were doing the interview.
Yeah. And Dave, I think we should just do a little recap on and our thoughts on the interview and the answers that we were given. Especially, we want to just touch briefly here on the question that I put up to Bruce about the divide amongst the KISS fans and all the crap that's been going among circles of the KISS armies and KISS groups about the expectations. Now, I will say this, as a fan myself, I do have my expectations of being a KISS fan of what I like KISS to do for myself, but if those expectations do not get met, I don't go around to different forums and just blast out and say, oh, why this and why that. It is what it is. And I think Bruce has summed it up that some people are got to get over it. But he does say this, everyone does have an opinion and they're entitled to their opinion, but you've got to show a bit more respect. And
I mean, in the end, it is Gene and Paul's band, and they can do what they want. They've got to be happy with them themselves before anyone else can be happy with what they're doing.
Well, just a question, Dave, straight out. Seeing this, I think you have seen the things that I have seen among the KISS groups as well. What's your intake on that with all the negative stuff that's going around and all the verbal bashing that's going around? Just give us.
To be honest, I try to shy away from it as much as possible. But does it affect you? Like I asked Bruce, does it affect you as a KISS fan as well? No, it doesn't. It would never. It'd never sort of make me not want to be a KISS fan.
No, it doesn't affect you. Does it affect you?
It does at times, but that's why I kind of shy away from a lot of. If I see a group that's kind of like that, I'll kind of shy away from it. And it's KISS is all about celebrating life and and celebrating the band. So why all this negativity, especially towards ex-members? I mean, sorry, the current members.
Well, for me, I'll just take a little bit of about a minute to put my opinion. I mean, I am totally, and I'll be bluntly honest, I'm pissed off with some of the fans out there that continue just to put up stupid stuff, whether it's on Twitter, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, but especially some of the KISS group. Now, I am one of the admin of another KISS group, and one of the rules that no bashing among KISS fans or KISS members, past or present, and it's the way it is. And very, very well run. Now, I do respect that everyone has their own favourite moment, their own favourite era, their own favourite member, but Kiss, for me, has always, like you said, been a celebration to celebrate life and just to rock and roll all night and party every day. But when you see that people saying, oh, you know, Ace is a better guitar player than Tommy, well, that might be the case, but Ace hasn't been in the band since 2001.
Yeah.
And you can't compete. It's like, who's the better drummer out of Peter Criss, Eric Carr, or Eric Singer? I'm not in for that type of competition. They all played a part on their different era of the different time and a different formation of Kiss. Peter brought something in, Eric Carr brought something in, Eric Singer brought something in. But with all of it, I reckon, like what Bruce trying to say, and he probably did say it, that fans just need to get over it and build a bridge and get over it. Has it affected me as a fan? You bet. Yeah, I have had thousands of arguments leading up to this interview with Bruce, where among some other Kiss fans, and more important, we had some people arguing against us, David, about our opinions and that. And
it's an opinion.
and but we haven't really got much hate mail lately, and I don't like it. But like I said, we get hate mail unless we're doing something, right? They can talk about it. But yeah, that's just my intake. I mean, we love what we're doing, and we're entitled to your opinion. And you know, we're just family and that. But I also like to talk about the other questions about, does he see any other band coming up behind, like bands like Kiss that's been around for 40 years, Motley Crue that just announced their farewell tour, AC/DC announced their 40th anniversary this year. I think there's going to be 40 dates for 40 years, and that. But going on to say that, I just want your opinion, David. Do you see any other bands following up behind these mega bands like the Beatles or the Stones, or even lasting this test of time? It's the Stones, like 50 years, or Kids for 40 years. Can you see any other bands that's been around now that could last that long?
Well, I mean, you've got the Motorheads and all that have been around that long as well, but newer bands, maybe, and I'll say Foo Fighters. They're probably some of the last it'll last that long. I can't see a lot of the newer bands lasting 40 years plus on the road. It's just like that, not that sort of a setup now where a newer band can garner that reputation enough and build a fan base from the ground up, and like say your Kisses did, or your Rolling Stones, or even Twisted Sister, or and all that. This Twisted Sisters, I mean, have been around 40 years as well now. You know, so, even though they did break up for a long time, but it's not a lot of newer bands that will last that long. I'm sad to say.
Yeah, well, the band that I'm keeping an eye out, and I'm keeping a very great awareness of, is a band called Reckless Love. Now, I have heard they only brought out 3 albums, and they're a glam metal band. They're bringing the glam back type of thing, like the Poison and the Motley Crue and things like that. They're bringing that back. Do I see them lasting? Well, it sort of depends on the record companies. How much of a public demand they ask from the bands. I remember when Kiss started, they brought out 4 albums in 18 months. So, you know, when they first started. I don't see bands doing that now, bringing out 4 albums in 18 months. But that was the record company. That was Casablanca saying, we want to push more music out, music out.
Yeah.
But the band I'm looking out for is Reckless Love. I mean, yes, I'm a Steel Panther, but they're a comedy band, a parody band. But I like them. But another band I'm keeping an eye out is Crash Diet. Like I said again, it all depends on the music company, record companies, and that. If they want to keep getting a high demand of their music out, well, yeah, they'll be around. But though a Crash Diet came to Australia for a big day out, not big day out, Soundwave a couple of years ago, and
Yeah.
it can happen. Can we see another megastar band from Australia? It's hard to say.
Right, megastar rock band.
It's
I mean,
hard
I
to
would
say.
hope so.
I hope so,
there's-
but at this present time, I
There's a
can't
band.
see.
There's a band that I'm looking out for at the moment. A band called Kiss the Viper.
Yeah,
Yeah, very good rock band from Melbourne. I suggest everyone check them out. They're on the Facebook. It's Kiss the Viper with Viper with a VYPER, and look them up on Facebook. Great Aussie rock band.
they haven't brought
But-
out an album just yet, but yeah, like you
Yeah,
said,
they're
David,
just about to just about to record an EP. They're recording an EP at the moment,
But
so
at
it
this
should
present-
be out soon.
but at this present time, Dave, I'm keeping an open mind, but right
Yeah.
at this minute, I can't see another band like. I can't see another AC/DC to take the world by storm at this present time. I mean,
Nah,
I just can't see it. Because it all comes back to the record companies, and
Yeah.
we're not
or
getting.
even you've got Airborne.
Yeah, Airborne's
And
great too. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
like AC/DC. I hear AC/DC right through them. But
Mm.
Airborne's another one. We did have Silverchair, but they're gone. We did have In Excess, but they're gone. It's all about public demand and what the record company wants to bring out. But if they want to focus on a different criteria of music, like the dance scene now, where they pump music down your throat every hour on the radio station, well,
Yeah.
you're not going to get much. But radio station didn't really like rock and roll anyway in the mainstream. You got to do it what we do if we did it on our own community radio station. But
Well, actually, there's another band, a well-established band now. They've been around for 98, about 16 years now. I can see it lasting for as long as one keeps going. He wants to keep going as Black Label Society.
but he's been in other bands too, so you can all up
yeah,
with all those bands
yeah.
that he's been in. That's
Yeah.
probably over 30 years.
no, he started with Aussie in 1987, 88 when he was 19. He's 40, 46, 47 now. He's about 3 or 4 years old, about 4 years older than I am, somewhere around there.
But starting out from start to finish for 40 years, it's hard to say.
It's Bruce. I was listening to an interview with JJ French from Twisted Sister. I'll post you the links to it, Jamie, later, and have a listen to it. But he was saying it's going to be a really hard slog for a band to start out these days with a career path in music more than what back in the 70s, as he said, there was a defined career path you could take if you wanted to be a rock star. But these days, it's very hard for starting up a new band in these times.
And what we need back here in Australia, and I think you agree with me, David, is bring back the entertainment back into the pubs and clubs. Piss the pokies out of it and bring back the entertainment.
Well, I've got a little bit of news for you. I'll just had it up here on Facebook. One of our favourite venues is up for sale in Melbourne.
Which one?
The Espy.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw it on Facebook.
And did the Dead Daisies just play there last night?
Yep.
So, that's...
I'll read. We're getting a bit off topic here, but I'll tell you. It says here, this is coming from the guys that run the Cherry Bar. This makes me very nervous. The Espy is up for sale. The Australian reports St Kilda's Esplanade Hotel is the continuously longest running live music venue in Australia has been put on the market. The business is being offered for sale through Jones Lang LaSalle, with the current owners keen to retain the freehold title to the prime rock and roll venue overlooking St Kilda foreshore. But it is understood that the owners also consider the offer for the freehold for the property that sits on a large 1,729 square metre site. In my opinion, no venue in Australia puts on more live music than the Esplanade in Espy and St Kilda.
Mm.
Yeah, that makes me nervous too.
There's been a lot of great memories there. We've seen great bands there too, David, you and I, and it's just a shame that no one is backing these into the venues now. Venues are shutting down left, right, and centre. I mean, I know
especially here in Melbourne too.
Yeah, and you put the pokies, they put the pokies room or the pokies in, but I think what we should say in the smoking, when you can't smoke in the venue, well, they're not going to come in. That's why you got to go out the front, But I'm not there to smoke. I'm there to see a band. I'm there to have a drink with David and enjoy my night. I mean, I remember the first time we went, we saw 6 bands for like $16 the first night I went there with you, Dave.
Yeah.
So, and also, we had big bands like NXS when they first started, played at the Epsies, from Australia. So there's been major bands play there, and just a shame that people just can't go out and support live entertainment. And that's why we'll talk to Bruce about, do we see another band coming up behind Kiss to last the test of the waters for 40 years like Kiss has. But David, I think your question really went across well with Bruce as well about the guitars, and also you met Paul Drennan that night too. Was that 40th anniversary thing?
Yeah, the 40th anniversary of the first Kiss album. I went now to the Cherry Bar on Saturday night. They had an Melbourne All-Star band, including 3 members of Bruce's Australian touring band, playing the first Kiss album in its entirety, which is awesome. It was a great night, super packed. I mean, you had because all the rock stars were in town at the moment. You had, I believe Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine was there. Marco Mendoza and John Tempesta from Dead Daisies, Thin Lizzy, or Marco Mendoza was from Thin Lizzy, Black Star Riders, and Dead Daisies. John Tempesta has played with The Cult, Exodus, White Zombie, Exodus, Testament. He was a roadie for Charlie Benante and Anthrax. Seems like Cherry Bar's the place to go if you want to see rock stars when they're in town.
And David, I just got to say, I would love to be there, but partner's father-in-law's birthday, and
fair enough.
But good. I am coming over to another band that did a couple of Kiss covers in their career called Ice Earth. I'll be coming over with Shay, and we're going to be seeing the band together. And we're going to we're going to actually meet the band, David.
Yeah, we're all 4 of us. Both of us and our partners. My wife and Jamie's fiance is going to be there as well. It should be awesome. Yeah, they probably won't play. They won't play the Kiss covers, but
I am going to ask. David. I want to put this across to you. I am going to ask them if they can play either Creatures of the Night or God of Thunder.
They won't. No, they won't play it. They'll have a set list. They won't.
Did do something out of surprise at the spur of a moment. Look what. We won't go into what happened with Megadeth because that was the thing. But yeah, if we do a spur of a moment thing, we'll do a spur of a moment thing.
Yeah, they would. Once we get to the meet and greet, would have the set list already worked out.
But I think another good thing that Bruce came up with, all the music ventures that he wants to do this year with his brother Bob. He does want to come back to Australia this year. Whether that falls through, he will let us know. Like I said, we'll be the first to know. So, who knows what could happen. But, David, I do want to say this. We're not going to have a Mug of the Month this year. Mug of the Month this month. We're going to have the Fan of the Month this month. Mm-hmm. And the mug for the Fan of the Month is going to the guy that created awesome photos for us and put together a new couple of photos for us to put up. And also, if you have watched this episode, you'll see a brand new intro and a brand new outro that this fan has made. And also, if you go onto his YouTube channel, he's had done a promo for us as well. So I just could not resist and could not back down that this guy is going to get the mug for us, and we might actually put one of the new photos that he created up on the mug for him, David. And Melanie, yours is still coming. We're still waiting for the franchise that we put the order in to get back to us, and I've got to talk to David about that. And we're going to put a couple more orders in because the new photo that was created, we're going to put another second order in. So the first order's going in. We just got to put this. We want to do 2 copies, David. Now, the producer had came up with, so let's make 2 copies. They can choose which one they want. So, but all proceeds will go back into the production. It doesn't go into our pocket because we're actually giving out more money than coming in. We've got to pay for brand new. Oh yeah, before I go on, I have got a brand new microphone headset. So, people, if you complain about my volume is down, that's because whoever recording, or who's hosting the recording, their volume drops. There's nothing we can do. It's Skype problem, but I have got a USB input microphone now, and the same one as David's got. So I'm coming across very clearly now, I believe, from David's end. So it's all good. But no, all production software we got to pay for, and we're not making any money off this. But yeah, I want to go on to some other things too. We've got another great episode coming up next week. We haven't got a guest lined up, but we don't have guests every week. We have topics every week. So, and I think next week's topic we're going to investigate this week on the Creatures of the Night Tour, I believe. Is that the teaser that we can put out?
Oh, we can see. We'll see what we can find out first. What we're going to talk about, and
we'll do
see if we'll do it there once we do our investigations.
Yeah, we'll do our investigation. But another one is you know, all these tours and that. The reason why we want to investigate the Creatures of the Night tour is, as we know, Ace was around in the promo, and next minute he's vanished. And the first line of Rock Soldiers, he remembers summer of '83, and that's when he had a car crash. And we believe that would have been around June in '83, well, around May, June, July, their summer. So August. So we're going to have a look at it. We're going to bring out some information that we can find, and so we can bring it up. If it's not next week, it'll be the one after. But I am talking to some other guests as well that can come on our show, and we're all willing to do it. We just got to get some time and whatnot. But David, I think we'd better just wrap this one up.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
And say to people to go to our Twitter page, go to our Spreaker, go to Spreaker,
and YouTube.
Oh, you go to YouTube as well, but go to Spreaker. We got that up running again now, David.
Yeah.
Spreaker, and also go to our Twitter page as well. And whoever's messaging me on Facebook better bugger off. But anyway, I'm getting all these bloop. So anyway, let's wrap it up, David. We'll catch you guys next week, and listen to the episode. See you, Dave.
See you later.